Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. It's a Tennessee Bourbon Showdown.
Well, this is really a celebration of Tennessee bourbon right here. I've been wanting to do something like this for a really long time, and we just had the perfect opportunity fall into our laps. Barrell Bourbon Company sent us a bottle of their batch 34, and we want to make that clear right off the bat that was a gift from the distillery that they sent to us. We are under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about it. I don't know why we'd be under an obligation to say something negative about it to begin with, but wanted to say that is the impetus for why we're doing this tasting. And all these bottles have been open for a little while, so they have gotten plenty of oxygen in them. We've sampled them all, but we've never done a blind with them, at least against each other. Now it's time to do that. And so we're going to start off by introducing the 4 bottles that we're going to be enjoying today. All right, 2 of these whiskeys are blended from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee bourbon. 2 of them are 100% made in Tennessee. So they all have Tennessee bourbon in them. Wanted to make that clear too. And they have very different mash bills. So let's get started with Barrell Bourbon. This is batch 34, the Cask Strength, 114.62 proof. It says 6 years aged on the bottle, but it's made of a blend of 6, 8, 10, and 15-year bourbons. MSRP on that bottle is $85. Next up, it is one of the surprises from our Advent tournament. It's Jeppson's Single Barrel Cask Strength Bourbon. This is a pick that we got at Binny's on the north side of Chicago. 115.42 proof, and it is a 4-year aged product. We got this one for $35.
Love it.
That's a value right there. Next up, it is Chattanooga 111 Cask Strength Bourbon, 111 proof, 2 years aged, so the youngster in the competition. Only $42 they charge for this one.
I don't think I knew that it was only 2 years aged.
Now you do.
I know, and I love it.
And finally, Nelson Brothers Whiskeys. This is their Reserve Bourbon, 107.8 proof. It is non-age stated from Nelson's Greenbrier Distilling. We got this bottle for $65. And again, Tennessee, Indiana, and Kentucky represented here. The interesting thing here is the mash bills, because the Nelson Brothers whiskey is known for having a blend of high rye bourbons. Chattanooga is a high malt bourbon. The Barrell bourbon actually uses some high corn barrels, is what we understand. And finally, there's Jeppson's. I'm pretty sure that's a high rye bourbon as well. So we're going to find out some things about our palates today and some things about ourselves. And most importantly, it'll be about the friends we make along the way. All right, so this is going to be a blind tasting. I poured them. Julie mixed them around. We will nose the glasses, taste them from right to left, left to right, A/B test, and then we will present our lists. I'm excited to see how Barrell stands up here against these bottles that, quite honestly, we've enjoyed every single one of them. Let's get right to the nose with glass number 1.
I just want to reiterate that we did say bourbon, so don't give us any Jack Daniels grief here.
Yeah, no Dickel grief, no Jack Daniels grief. This is 100% a bourbon challenge.
Ooh, this nose is sweet. Apples, caramel, oak.
Brown sugar, too. It's an easygoing sweetness on glass number 1. You like that?
I like that.
Okay. Glass number 2. This one's a little more subtle, I think.
I was going to say I had to dig a little bit for this. Strawberries and oak.
Yeah, light brown sugar on this one.
Maybe I'm going to go strawberries and cream and oak.
There's a little proof here. I think that's hiding some of the aroma.
Just want to say in my notebook on the opposite side of the page was my notes from the All Rise Challenge. And I forgot that I wrote stinky, oaky, and sticky as one of my flavors.
May all your tasting notes be so clever and classy today.
Exactly.
Glass number 3. That's fruit and oak.
Oh, and I got like some deep brown sugar.
That's heading in a different direction than the others, but I
Yeah.
don't dislike it. It seems like there's a darker raspberry note there even.
Yeah, maybe even a little leather. I like the turn that one took.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Glass number 4.
There's a limestoniness here.
I'm almost getting peach on this one.
I would agree that there's definitely a different type of fruit here.
Yeah, maybe one of those stone fruits.
This kind of reminds me of a brewery smell. Like the
A little grainy.
Little spilled beer smell. I like that. There's a sweetness there.
In my notes, all of these were very fruit forward. But nice oak, nice sugar presence.
This could go any way, and I can't wait.
Yes.
Cheers.
The nose smelled like a Jolly Rancher as I was drinking that.
It's very candy-like.
Wow.
Wow, there's a lot of good sugar sweetness here. White sugar on the palate.
I'm almost thinking that blue raspberry
Maybe that's what it is.
Jolly Rancher.
Because there's some artificial sweetness here too. Wow, that's got really big white sugar flavor.
The finish is like
Doesn't last
medium.
forever. Yeah.
It's not terribly short, but it's definitely not long. Ooh, it just parks itself right in there. It's nice and warm. Cozy.
I like this one.
Yeah, there's no bitterness on this one.
Sugar is just coating my
Yeah.
tongue, though. It's like, seriously, I feel like I've been eating just spoonfuls of sugar, and now it's stuck on my tongue. The second sip left a lasting impression here. Interesting.
Man, I just gotta go back to the warmth of this one. Maybe it's because it's the first sip of the day, but it's in there.
Yeah.
It's parked. It's not going anywhere. I got that emergency brake on right now. I liked glass number 1.
I did too. That was very nice.
Glass number 2? This one, I was like, ooh, this one tastes a little bit more Tennessee. I got a little bit of that limestoniness that you can sometimes get.
It's definitely there.
But then, man, I got like some strawberries, some cherries that came through.
The way this one coats is
I was thinking this is sticky.
sticky.
Yeah.
This is like a little bit of maple syrup here. Ooh, a little honey. There's a lot to like there. A ton of flavor. Brown sugar. Medium brown sugar. It's not too dark, not too bright. It's kind of a beautiful balance.
It's just right.
I think maybe it is, yeah. Call me Goldilocks over here.
It like tingles my lips a little bit. Just it's an observation.
You sure it's not just wintertime and you're trapped?
Well, they are definitely. I was just complaining about that.
Yeah, we actually had a snowstorm earlier today. The vanilla that's showing up here is like vanilla extract or vanilla frosting. A little buttery.
I almost, as you were saying that, I was like, ooh, this is like open the jar of Betty Crocker
Vanilla
frosting.
butter, like a vanilla buttercream frosting.
Yeah. And that's what I was eating there.
A little buttery. This one almost hits my palate a little bit salty, but in a good way. This is really balanced. I like glass number 2. I better start taking some notes because I got a lot of them. Should we see what glass 3 from the volunteer state has for us?
Oh, is that what it is? The
It
volunteer
is,
state?
indeed.
Nice. Ooh, that one's different. That's
Yeah.
funky. This one's earthy and funky.
Yeah.
It's very like earthy and funky. It's a little dirty.
It's almost like a dusty floor.
Uh-huh.
Like a barn floor.
My mouth kind of got dry. As you were saying
Yeah.
dusty, I was like, yeah, like I wanted to scrape the roof of my mouth.
That one, we're going to have to come back the other way or A/B test. Because coming off of glass number 2,
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to glass number 3. That is tough. It is spicy, and that I like because it offsets some of the sweetness. But there's a bitterness there that doesn't seem to play too nicely.
Earthy and funky is what I'm really getting in this. This
Yeah.
is definitely the earthiest of the 3 we've had.
Interesting.
I want to point out that that doesn't mean that it's not
Not good.
quality.
Yeah, no, not
Like
at all.
it's just a different flavor profile
Yeah.
completely.
I think we're going to see some different things as we mix it up here in A/B test and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Glass number 4. Ooh, that's nice.
There was a note that kind of flittered in and then fluttered out.
Flittered in and fluttered out?
Yeah, flittered and fluttered.
Okay.
But it almost had like a vinegar and a pepper note.
I was going to say something
Like salt
weird
and
too.
vinegar, or maybe salt and vinegar chips or something. Like,
I got like a sweet tea. Like a tea note. I don't ever get tea on my whiskeys.
Yeah.
That one, if number 3 was earthy, number 4 is straight up weird.
yeah, I have to. I wasn't expecting that from the nose.
Nobody was.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. I'm just gonna have to sit with this one for another, however long this video is.
60 or 70 minutes. Do you remember Goober Grape?
Yes, those little were they just the little things that had the stuff in the middle? Like they were gummy, but no, it wasn't. Okay, never mind.
It was a jar of peanut butter and grape jelly
Oh,
in stripes. It was peanut
Yes,
butter.
I do
then
remember
jelly,
that.
And Peter the jelly.
I wasn't allowed to have that.
There's definitely a Goober Grape here.
Huh.
There's a bit of a peanut butter thing happening. There's a bit of a fruit jam happening. I don't know if it's grape, and it's definitely not like artificial grape sweetness.
I had to take another sip
I think I want another sip of this as well.
because I'm like squinting, trying to. There's a flavor in here that I'm really struggling to figure out what it is. I wrote down briny.
Yeah.
It tastes a little briny, and I don't know if that's the right word for this, but it reminds me of something. I will say of the three, if we were doing...
There's 4 here.
Correct, there are 4. Whew, we're off to a good start. There's only one that actually struck me as, if I was doing this a 5-Sip Friday, I'd be like, oh, that one is Tennessee.
Really?
There's only one of them that really throws that like limestoniness like to the forefront.
Yeah.
The rest of them have these like oddities that are kind of overshadowing it.
I think they're all very odd. In good
It's
ways.
actually like a really good matchup because they offer something different each glass.
I'm really happy about this right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm happy.
Well, what is about to happen is we are going to cleanse our palates and start with glass number 4, go back the other way.
Do you find these odd?
A little odd. Glass number 4 again. Glass number 4 is if peanut butter was made into a brandy. Does anybody make a peanut butter brandy?
In my head, I'm thinking like, you know how you have what is that thing? I was going to say mortar, but it's like the pistol and what?
Mortar and pestle.
Oh, pestle. Jeez. I don't know why, but as you were talking about that, I was thinking peanuts in there and you're like...
Grinding them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
But I'm
the
sticking
vanilla
with-
coming through there is really nice now. There's a lot of it.
It almost feels pickled to me.
This would be the perfect whiskey for a pickleback shot.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I
If
don't-
you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't do that, but I know people like it. I know people like it. No judgment at the bourbon van.
No judge. A little judgment, maybe.
No, look at what we do. Yeah. I always feel bad for the fourth one because it's like you drink it at the end after you've had, and then you have to do it again, and like things don't change because you don't have anything to compare about it. The glass 4 shines in the A/B testing. I mean,
Yeah,
in
I don't
general.
think its feelings are hurt at the moment.
I hope not.
Glass 3.
I like this one less this time.
There's some dry peanut shell here.
Dry peanuts.
Dusty
Yes.
floor continues.
It's still funky.
I'd like to say that this one's interesting, but it's not in a way that I find appealing.
It makes, I actually just did it too. It makes me want to rub my tongue against the roof of my mouth and like you're scraping away the flavors.
Sort of continues to be dry.
And I'm just like sitting here like, I should say something nice about this one.
There is a sugariness.
God, I hope
to
it's
it.
not the Barrel.
There's some brown sugar here that's redeeming quality, but beyond that, I'm not finding much to like. Oh, it's just maple syrup, brown sugar,
Yeah.
raspberry. There's spice, there's sweetness, there's a little bitter oak in there.
Yeah,
I like everything happening in that glass.
I know. It kind of offers just a hit of everything that you could want. Yeah, the nose is sweet. You've got that maple syrup. You've got that vanilla. You've got that oak. You've got the warmth, but it's not too warm.
Yeah.
You've got the flavor. The finish is all right.
I was gonna say if there's one knock against it, it's that the finish doesn't
Yeah.
last forever. There's the Bourbon Van review. Glass 2, pretty good.
We like to be wishy-washy on this channel.
We're great at that.
Actually, no, we don't. I'm usually pretty honest with my review.
Let's see if we can be more decisive here as we move on to glass number 1. I hate it.
No, I was like, I like the nose on this one.
Pretty tasty.
Was this the one I said tasted like a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher? Because now I think there's a bit of grape in it. It is very candy-tastic.
Yeah. I like this one. It's not, it doesn't linger forever. It's not the most exotic or exciting, but it is flavorful. It's a nice sipper. I could see myself in a rocking chair or on a porch somewhere, screened in porch. I don't like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Just enjoying this thing.
Nobody likes mosquitoes.
I think that this is I was almost going to say serviceable, and I'm like, that's not fair to this whiskey. It's way
No.
better than serviceable. I think
Yeah.
it's a very tasty whiskey.
It's missing a bit of richness that I wish this glass had, because I think it has all the elements to be a really great drink.
Yeah.
And I like the flavors. I like the sweetness. I like the oakiness. I like the sugariness. I think the finish is the best of the bunch.
It's
I wish
very
it was
tasty.
just a little bit either thicker or richer or something. Okay, A/B test. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're not going to show you all that, or this would be a really long video.
There is some mint in glass number 1.
A little lemon zest on glass 4.
Ooh, my glass number 1 and 2 is tough.
Tight
I like,
matchup, huh?
yeah, I like them from different reasons. I'm ready.
Let's count it off. Fourth place. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you were trying to fool me there.
No, I'm just clumsy. What didn't you like about that glass?
It wasn't my favorite.
Okay, fair enough.
It was just very earthy. It was very funky. It just didn't hit my palate.
I said that this one tasted like Sam Elliott shook off his leather duster into the glass. It's just so dry and dusty. I didn't dislike it, just not my favorite. Glass
Number
2.
2.
All right, glass number 2.
What do you have for me?
I have no idea. Let me find the page.
I don't either.
Glass number 2 is the Nelson's Reserve. That is the 107.8 proof, $65 bottle there.
Long pause. Not that I forgot that it was in there, but I remember at the beginning when you said it was in there, I knew it wasn't going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't remember why, and now I do.
Yeah, it's I love the Belle Meade so much.
It makes me even more sad to know that they've got my beautiful Belle Meade.
All right, third place in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
Okay, there's a split. Glass number 4 for you, third place. What's up with that?
I didn't like it as much as my glass number 1 and 2.
That's it.
It's as simple as that.
Glass number 4 for you, a little too briny. I actually really liked glass number 4. It was interesting. There was something different about it that I didn't really get from the other ones. That lemon zest kind of saved it.
Yeah.
And that's the note that I put on that one. Lemon zest saves the day.
Ah, I like
I'm
that.
Curious, before we find out what that is, what was your second place glass? Do you want to push them forward on 3?
Sure.
1, 2, 3. So we switched.
Oh, we swapped that
That's
one.
what it
Okay.
was.
So for me, it was there was just like a candy sweetness of this one that I just really enjoyed. It felt a little thin to me. So if
Yeah.
this had more of a richness to it, it could have been my number 1.
Your third place and my second place.
We'll put it on screen.
Glass number 1.
Yep.
And number 1 is the Chattanooga 111.
Wow.
So you've got Chattanooga 111 in third. I've got it in second.
It tasted so different in today's lineup.
That means we got to find out what this is. Glass number 3.
Yeah.
This was my third place, your second place. That is... It's the Jeppson's Bourbon.
Crazy. I really liked it during our Advent tournament.
It's an outstanding
That's
single
nuts.
barrel. $35.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
not going to beat that. Okay, fantastic. That means our
Wow.
first place glass for both of us is
Hey.
number 4, and that is
It's got to be the Barrell.
Barrel Batch 34. I said that it was all around and that it was clingy on the palate like an ex-girlfriend.
Oh boy. Probably true.
I haven't had one of those in many, many years.
It felt like it ticked every box. There was sweetness to it. There was like some rich flavors. The mouthfeel was great.
Not even really close. And it's the $85 bottle. It ought to stand on its head
Good point.
and beat everybody else up here. It really did. I have to say, though, I'm pretty surprised because knowing what we know about the other ones, Chattanooga 111, we have always enjoyed. The Reserve Bourbon here from Nelson Brothers, we liked that very much in previous tastings. So, and then the Jeppsons, that one almost wound up in second for me. If it had a little more mouthfeel, it would have done it. What a fun flight this was. Totally unexpected results for me.
The biggest surprise for me was the Chattanooga 111. Just that brininess that came through. But I guess this is why we do blinds.
That's why we play the game. Well, congrats to Barrell. That's a fantastic bottle of whiskey. And from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. I guess there's something to be said about a well-balanced bourbon.
The mouthfeel on that is...
It's great.